Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ohio State Primetime here at the Voice of College Football. I'm your host, as always, Garrison Gaddy. Thank you for being here, everybody. We're coming off a great weekend, but before we can talk about that, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Also, hit that notification bell so you can also check out the content that we have here at the channel at the Voice of College Football, whether that be coming from Mark or Mike and Terry, which you can catch them on 7:30 on Wednesdays for the world famous Buckeye show. Also on Thursdays, the call-in show with myself. Mike is sometimes there also at 7 o'clock on Thursdays as well. Also, if you haven't, check out our website at www.vocfb.com. You can also check out the some of the cool gear we have: coffee mugs, sweatshirts, hats, and also check out the cool writers that we have here at the Voice of College Football. Also, now let's get to it. So this Saturday, of course, this past Saturday, the Ohio State Buckeyes are victorious. Ryan Day's fifth ranked top 10 win and coming out of the playoffs. Um, really want to break down the offense and the defense. I'll be able to watch the game. I think I've watched it 3 times now, actually, since the game was over, just see what's been going on, what happened there, just to affirm or change some things or some ideas or opinions I have from the first game against the Texas Longhorns. But let's start with the offense here. First, I want to start with talking about Brian Hartline. As I'm going to do for the defense too. Start with the coaching, but I thought Brian Hartline was. I would give him like a B+ grade. I thought he did everything that he needed to do in his first game or true game, calling the plays and being the offensive coordinator for Ohio State and being the signal caller and leader of the whole offense, not just the wide receivers. Um, One thing I was really happy with is that he never abandoned the run. I think a lot of people know when Brian Hartline was given the offensive coordinator job, whether it be within the fan base or even outside of the fan base. I think a lot of people thought that he would just go and be like, not air raid, but just really try to focus in on the pass game and try and go out there and let loose. But Brian Hartline, he decided not to. He decided to do to run the ball, consistently run the ball. I thought the offensive line played very well in the run game. I'll start there. Um, Now, could they have done better in the run game? Yes. The offensive line could have been better in the run game, but I think overall, if you look at them, especially in pass protection, Julian had time. Julian could sit back there, make a sandwich, and then seeing Carmen Ohio then release the ball. I thought the offensive line, in situations when it truly mattered, they were able to get push. Like on the 1 yard line, we'll see it, CJ Donaldson on a couple third and shorts. They were able to move that off the defensive front for the Texas Longhorns, get the first down, and continue the drive. I mean, Ohio State, you can never tell if you looked at most of the stat sheet if you're a box score watcher. But Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes did lead the time of possession with 32 minutes compared to 20, I think Texas 27. So no, I thought that everything went just as well as it could have offensively for Brian Hartline. I think that he was really good at the cadence of how he called the plays went really well. Um, I would still like to see our on third and short be able to get first downs, but I did think that that play action pass that he ran with Julian, which also the fact that on your in the drive's about to end, it's fourth down. You need this 1 yard, and you decide to put the ball in the hands of Julian Sand at that moment in time. He delivers a great pass to Max Clare. He did miss Jeremiah over the top of the post, but that was a good throw that he got to Max Clare. Max Clare dropped it. So yeah, it was really cool seeing that out of Brian Hartline. But yeah, overall, I gave him like a BB+. Great job. And he didn't put Julian Sand in harm's way. Uh, that's the biggest thing I believe in the game like this. I think, and the same thing if you watch the Clemson and LSU game, I thought Brian Kelly did a good job with his quarterback also. He didn't put him in harm's way. He made all the right decisions. So yeah, good job on Brian Hartline and the offensive line also. By the way, yeah, Colin Simmons, my goodness. You probably see him on your nearest milk carton somewhere. He is missing. No pressures. Never, Austin Sarabell is a bona fide left tackle in college football. Yeah, that guy is real. He is real, and it's really and what's awesome about it is from coming out of the off season where he's the Iron Butt guy, where he's named a star but they don't know where yet. Then he takes the left tackle position. So you see all this coming, you see all this positive flow going for him. Then you get to game time, and it comes through fruition. He is that good. I mean, if I'm being honest right now, he looks like Ohio State's best offensive lineman. And that's a good thing. At left tackle, that's a good thing. Um, I thought the running backs could have played better, specifically James Peoples. I think that the offensive line they opened holes, and I think that like some people's opinions about how the offensive line played is because of the lack of vision that James Peoples showed in this particular game, which I was honestly was surprised by. He had one good run, but outside of that, it was he had a tough day, around 2 yards of carry. I thought CJ Dowson played very well. He ran strong. You couldn't tell that he wasn't 240 pounds anymore. He's still out there running through guys. I also think that as the season goes on, we're gonna see Dowson stay around that 20 per carry thing. I do think we're gonna see Bo Jackson next couple weeks, and that's not because I know anything. I just think that based off who we have seen Coach Locke be for that running back room, I think he's gonna try. He's gonna try and challenge James Peoples and start playing Bo against Grambling and against Ohio. And not to say he's gonna get more snaps than James Peoples, but you're gonna see him on the field. Um, but I think that what's gonna be really cool about CJ Donaldson is that as games go on, guys are gonna get tired of tackling him. And you saw this in the Texas game. He was leaning on them towards the end. So yeah, great job by him. Wide receivers could have played better. I thought they were the worst unit. Uh, which is okay. It's one game. You can't get too upset about it, but they definitely could have played better. Uh, I think that if you were to take away all the drops that they had, including Max Clare involvement here in the wide receiver unit, Ohio State would have or not Ohio State, but Julian Sand's stat sheet would have looked much different, specifically in the yards category. So I know wide receivers got to do better than that. But listen, guys, that's catching the ball. That wide receiver can do it any day they want. But when it comes to blocking, my God, they can do that out there. I know that much. It was really cool seeing Carnell Tate, on the same drive. While I was watching the game with some friends and family, and when Carnell Tate came off the right side on a jet motion and picked up Colin Simmons and held him in check, man, I turned to my sister and I said, "Oh, no block, no rock. I bet you Cardinal Tate gets he's gonna get like a pivotal catch on this drive." A couple plays later, he goes out there and does it. Julian could have threw that ball a little bit better, but he put it up there for his guy to go get it against a smaller defensive back, a smaller player, a good player, but not good enough. And he goes up there, catches it, loses it, and catches it again. That was a tough catch. That was a tough catch. I was really happy for him. Good job by Cardinal Tate today. Sorry, I've got a little allergies going on right now, everybody. I'm up in northern Michigan, but but happy Labor Day to everybody too. Hopefully you guys all had today off. And if you didn't, cheers to you for working still. But yeah, happy Labor Day, everybody. Um, Last thing I want to say about the offense, and then we'll move over to the defense. I really believe that the fact that we were able to win a game with 203 yards says a lot. Excuse me. Oh man, excuse me. But I thought that said a lot, and I also love the way that the Ryan Day said after the game that they wanted to open it up. They thought they could have opened up in the second half with Julian, but they just decided not to, and they kept it vanilla. And I was really impressed by that. And I think that, excuse me, I think that as the season goes on, we're definitely going to see this offense get to a higher level and reach different peaks than I think last year could. I mean, last year, of course, you have Will Howard. He's an established quarterback. But, you come out with your first time starting quarterback. You come out there with your first time play call offensive coordinator, and they get the job done. And they just win, baby, win. I think that's all you can ask for out of Brian Hartline and the offense. Again, I'll give them about a B. The play could have been a bit better. I'll probably say around C plus B minus. But I think that the sky's the limit for this offense. I think we're all going to see it as the season goes on. Again, everybody, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and share this video, and so we can also get the content out. We can grow this community that we have here at Ohio State, the voice of college football. And before we continue, everybody, quick message here from Mark and the VOCFB.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks: 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Okay, everybody, let's get back to talking about the game. We're just kind of putting a final stamp on the Ohio State-Texas game. Let's get to the defense. First, start with Matt Patricia. So some months ago, Ryan Day went out. Jim knows leaves by whichever way he does, and Ohio State has a huge vacant spot open. And by the way, before we continue, I do want to make sure I shout everybody out that's in there today. Hey man, let me see who we got today. Day one, shout out to you, my guy. Shout out, thank you for showing up. Daniel Henry, what up, Garrison? Go Bust. What's up going on, Daniel? Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good Labor Day as well for everybody else in here. Aaron, he says, they was holding my guy JJ, bruh. Them SEC refs are something else. No, bro, I agree. And actually I wrote that down. I forgot to talk about that. I thought Jeremiah played a good game. Of course, he had those 2 drop passes. The one that was on the screen, I'm not sure how far he would have gotten with that, but they were all over him. And bracket coverage, double team, coming across the middle whenever. He did get open once in the middle. I don't know how they let that happen. But no, man, they were holding him all game, and it was clear as day. It was clear as day. Daniel Henry says, we got to get more creative in the run game, though. Jet sweeps and off-tackle plays. I agree with that. I think that we could have used Brandon Ennis a little bit of that way also. I think that James People might be better suited running on like jet sweeps and out of either the slot or just doing a sweep motion. I think he would be better served that way. Don B says, yo, what's going on, Don B? Have we had a good day, my guy? Richie, what's going on, bro? Nice to see you as always. And shout out to Don B for the $4.99 super chat. By the way, if you want to send super chats, we appreciate it. As I always say, guys, monetarily, guys, all we ask that you hit that like button, share the video. That does a lot for us also. It does most for us, to be honest with you. So thank you again, Don B. He goes, yo, G Money, wipe your dusty head. No, man. No. Oh, wait, Chayo. I'm up here in northern Michigan right now, man. It was hot. I was on the boat for about 4 hours, but my allergies are kicking my tail right now. Clearly, they are. Richie says, bro, I haven't had a cold in like 5 to 6 years. No, bro, it's not cold. It's definitely allergies. This just happens to me. I have seasonal allergies, and it's the worst thing ever. It really is. Like I outside being allergic to fruit, this is like the next worst thing I could have. Shout out to my guy Clean Mike. By the way, everybody, if you don't already, go ahead and check out Mike and Terry on the World Famous Buckeye Show on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Mike says, Mad P, Mad Scientist. Damn right. We're gonna get to it. Actually, let's get to it now. Let's talk about this defense. So I decided to talk to a bunch of other guys about this game, Wolverine guys. Shout out to my guy Johnny Olden. But they kept saying in that game that we couldn't get pressure. Arch had all day to throw the ball. That we could basically saying our defensive line could do nothing. And shout out to Cam, Truth Evangelist. I know things 19 on X to follow him, but this right here I want to show because I when I saw this post, I was amazed by it, and I also think it describe is the reason why you'll see something on PFF right now. So in this game, um, Ohio State played 70 zone 72% of those dropbacks, 34 dropbacks, and Ohio State was in zone. They stayed in zone. You know, after watching Arch's all of his plays from last season, I asked my guy Matthew Miller a question. I said, "Do you think Arch and Gerald too?" I said, "Do you think Arch has a problem reading defenses?" Because that was just something I thought I saw. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go full bore on it, but it was something that I saw in that game or on those snaps he had last season, and it was clear that he has trouble doing it. And then your first game going against Matt Patricia, it couldn't be any worse for you. And so, shout out to Matt Patricia for getting that done. Um, the next thing, blitzed Arch Manning only 4 of the 34 dropbacks, but pressured Arch 14 times, and 12 of which came using 4-man rush. Impressive. Nothing short of impressive by this defense and Matt Patricia. He outdid himself, and I've been on the train, speaking his praises, singing him from the heavens. And everybody has the way they feel about Matt Patricia. I can care less. I think Matt Patricia. I'm just gonna go ahead and go out and just say I think he solidified himself as one of the best physical coordinators here in college football sport. And that's just by the simple fact that he came in with these Super Bowls, and a lot of people like to discredit him for that and say, "Oh, he was with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady." But at the end of the day, people got to do their jobs, do they not? And his job was the defensive coordinator in those 3 Super Bowls. The guy knows what he's doing, and I think that Ohio State did a good job of kind of mirroring. Not saying that, like, I don't know if they went and studied this, but they would. I would think they did. They mirrored Georgia for the last year. Everything they do against Sark, they have been doing what Ohio State has been doing. I mean, Ohio State ran a 5-man front, 1 linebacker, had Arvell on the edge. Caleb Downs came down near like that, of course, the box area. We had man going and then we still ran zone out of that. Arch had no idea who was coming from where. All game had no idea. Deer in headlights. And the funny thing is, you could see in his eyes before the game started. Arch didn't look ready for that game. He from the get-go, he wasn't ready for the time he skipped that ball to his wide receiver. So yeah, I and on top of that, I always say you take PFF with a grain of salt, and I think they do a great job at PFF because at the end of the day, it is a part of the game, and it's a way to see something that you may not notice you're watching the game. Ohio State's highest graded players were on the defensive tackle position, and I think it's because they were getting a lot of pressure up front on passing downs. Every single the 4 deep. So you're talking Edric, Caden, Malone, and Smith Jr. And they had a 90. No, they were as low as a 68.8, which is actually pretty good, and as high as in the 70s. I thought the defensive tackles played really well today. I thought our edges played well today. I thought Kenyatta was out there moving guys. He wasn't getting pushed back. I did think that it was cool seeing Caleb CJ Hicks, on a 4th down play that we need to end the game. He comes around that bend, makes a great play, gets pressure on Arch, gets his hands on him, brings him down to the ground. Caleb Downs then finishes the play. I think that's just showing how fast this defense is and how in sync this defense is. For some of the complicated stunts that we were able to run in our first game with Matt Patricia, throughout the offseason, I love talking about the fact that Caleb Downs is probably the smartest player in college football. I know we always say that Jeremiah is the best player in college football, but I think Caleb has a say in that too. I think it's 1A, 1B. It's 1A, 1B. I think that Caleb Downs could definitely. If someone said Caleb Downs is the best player in college football, I wouldn't fight them about it. And so With that being said, I mean, you have a guy that's smart. You have Matt Patricia there. You have guys like that, like Igwinosin and Jermaine Matthews, who have been in the situation they got to play in big moments like they did last year against Texas. And by the way, I was right. Those wide receivers could not get open against those guys for a second year in a row. They could not, or second game in a row, they could not get open against these two corners. But I think that Caleb Downs, when you watch him out there, you see like all the corners, the linebackers, they're all looking towards him. Say, "Oh, hey, coach Downs, what are we doing? What are we doing?" And I thought he did a good job of conducting Matt Patricia's defense out there. I think that the defense did a great job of disguising what they were doing. I think that you could definitely see that Sark was in his head too. They had no idea what they were doing out there as a unit. And so shout out to them. Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. Jake Butt said in the preseason, this is the most athletic linebacker duo in the country. I think we now need to talk, and we knew we would probably have this conversation during the offseason, but now it's time to have the conversation about them possibly being the best linebacker duo in the country. On top of that, no, I'll wait. But because I'm going to say something here next. I think it's really a really cool thing to see right now at Ohio State. But Arvell Reese, man, coming out that coffee house blitz, great. Got a lot of pressure on him. He definitely was out there showing his worth and showing that as a true freshman why he got that much playing time, the playing time that he did. Now as a full-time starter, I mean, I don't know who the better linebacker is, but I'm just happy that we have Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese as ours. It's gonna be really cool. I think to also see when Peyton Pierce gets out there to see what he can do, see what Riley Pettyjohn can do out there. I mean, on kickoff, he laid out like 3 guys. And those are the times to make plays as a true freshman. And they put you on special teams. You think back to Zeke and that tackle he had. I think what game was that? I want to say Wisconsin, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just cool to see. Now Jalen McClain. He looks like Lathan Ransom out there. He's great in coverage. He knows how to hit. He closes fast. Like as soon as the ball is caught, he's in the face, and I was really impressed by how twitchy he was. And the thing is, because Malik Harper is a bigger safety than he is, but this, like I said, that he looks like Lathan Ransom out there, not the biggest guy, but he can go out there and thump dudes. And so, really impressed by Jalen McClain. I think that he's only going to show more during the season. I think that he's the perfect 1-2 punch. I think Ohio State has a top 5 safety duo, top 5 linebacker duo, and a top 5 corner duo in the country. And if I'm being honest with you, I think Ohio State has the best corner duo in the country. I think Ohio State does. And just by default, I would tell you we have the best safety duo because I've seen enough out of Jay McClain as a true sophomore and Caleb Downs is the other safety. And so it's just really cool to see, and again, I think that the coaching staff has done a great job with them, also the position coaches. Aben Nosen, there was no penalties called on him today. Shout out to Doreen. Thank you for being here also. But there was no penalties on him, and he was out there locking shit down. It's just plain and simple. Plain and simple. Matthews gave it that one touchdown, but it's I think he turned his head a little bit too early. But I mean, he had a great game. He had that interception. He basically ran the route for the wide receiver. And if you watch it, Lorenzo Styles did the same thing. He ran the route for the wide receiver. And Lorenzo Styles was lied down today that Saturday also. This is without a doubt the best defensive back 7 in college football. I think it's because of what you see at linebacker, and what you know is at corner, and what you know is at safety. You see the depth there. Devin Sanchez got in there for 12 snaps. Well, he was in the game on the last Texas drive. And think about that. Think about that. Matt Patricia and Ryan Day were willing to walk a true freshman corner out on the last drive of the game to stop Texas from tying the game. That says a lot about Devin Sanchez. And we said it plenty of times. it's going to be impossible to keep this kid off the field. And I think he did a good job yesterday. So shout out to him. Um, yeah, man, that was just an awesome performance by our coordinators. And by the way, I'm giving Matt Patricia A+. I'm really happy to see what they from what I saw. I think that there's only room to grow, and the good thing is that it's after week one we know the things that we had to fix as a team, and I think that's the good thing. You didn't walk out of it saying like, "Damn, man, how do we lose this game, or how do we win this game, or what are the things that what were we seeing out there?" It's clear as day what Ohio State to work on. And we're gonna talk about that in the next 30. But again, just shout out to everybody in here. Do want to read some of the comments here. Daniel Henry. See, there we go. He goes, I love how Jermaine Matthews hunts the ball. He is not scared to leave his zone if he sees where the play is going. True playmaker. I agree, man. I agree. And it's they talked about it all offseason also, how they feel like they can play more freely with Matt Patricia. I think it's because for Matt Patricia, coming from the NFL, where I mean, everyone's a starter, and I mean everyone in the NFL is a good football player to some extent, especially if you're a starter in the NFL. But the fact that he sees that all the talent that he has at Ohio State right now, he's like, man, I got guys like Jermaine Matthews, Caleb Downs, Alvaro Reese, Sonny Styles, David Sabunosin. I'm gonna let these athletes fly around the field, and that's exactly what they did. And they look great, dude. Jalen McClain, I mean, he looked like a stud out there. And so, no, I love it. I love like how freely Jermaine played, just like you did, Daniel. I think that he did a great job of trusting his eyes, and every time his eyes did not lie. They definitely did not. And so, yeah, I agree with you. Great seeing Jermaine play like that. Shout out to Mike. He goes, I told people we were placing folks better at every position on defense other than Tyleek. Mike, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because of the running stats, the run game stats that Texas had, people are just assuming that Ohio State didn't do good against the run because they have done better. Yes, but I thought the defensive line did a great job. I thought our edges did very well in passing downs and getting if it wasn't for Archer's legs, we would have had like 4 or 5 sacks. I really believe that. But good on him. I think that Caden Curry played really well. I don't know, man. I think that when you look at because I forget who said this, but someone said that this is as good as Ohio State's defensive line is going to get for the season. I highly disagree with that. You're talking about K. McDonald, who showed. I think K. McDonald's the best defensive lineman on our team. I know that. I think that right now. I think Edric Houston's right there with him, but K. McDonald was causing havoc and problems up the middle, and Edric Houston still had a great game too. But yeah, man, I think at that position we did much better outside of him. At linebacker, Cody Simon was a dog last year. He's now Arbel Reese. That's a different type of athlete. At corner, Denzel Burke leaves. You bring in Jermaine Matthews, who guys like me and Mike, we thought Jermaine Matthews was better than Denzel Burke for the last 2 years. I thought that when he was from the sophomore year, as a freshman, no, from his freshman to sophomore year, I thought it was like, oh, I think he's just better. He's more sound than Burke was as a corner. At safety, look, man, if I never saw the jerseys, if I couldn't saw the people, and I could see it was like a black, like a black like picture of the person moving, right? And I saw a snap of Lathan Ransom, and I saw a snap of Jay McClain, I couldn't tell you who was who. I wouldn't be able to tell you who was who. But I was so impressed by him. Jay McClain was a dog. But yeah, Mike, I agree. But I think at almost every position on defense, we got better except for at defensive tackle. I agree with that also. And the guys might not be as good in the run game as the JTT and Jack were, but they get more pressure than JTT and Jack did. I know that much. So day one says Iggy heard the P. Iggy accusations and got himself together. That's crazy, but that's funny. But no, man, I was so I'm so happy for him. Came in first game of the year. And clearly, I mean, the wide receivers for Texas are not as good as they were last year, but that was one of the big reasons why I was just not worried about our secondary. I thought, or our corners, I thought Igbenogson was a lockdown corner already. So yeah, great by him. Great by him. Shout out to EV man. He says, good to see how Arvell and CJ is being used. Matty P knows how to utilize his talent. Yes, he does. I agree. I fully agree. What is that Grambling State spread? Good question, Cameron. Hold up. Let's see. They might not even have one, but I'll have them at just over 30 points. Here we go. Grambling. It's not available yet, so they don't have it. Well, let me see. Yeah, let me look at covers. They might have it. Yeah, that's a good question because I would have to imagine it's like 30 to 35 points. I mean, that would only make most sense. I think Ohio State's going to open it up a little bit more, and they kind of know that. Yeah, it's not out yet. The line is not out, so yeah, gonna definitely keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's actually kind of crazy. They don't have the line for that, but it is only Monday. But for some games, they might have the earlier line, but they clearly don't for this game. So yeah, sorry I couldn't answer that for you. Clearly they don't have it out. See, Cameron sounded also as though the only true worry I have with this team is I don't know if 4D linemen can pressure consistently through high end offensive linemen. Otherwise, I feel great about this team. I don't know, Cam. We 34 dropbacks. We pressured him 14 times, and 12 of those were out of the zone. We're just 4 players. So I think as the season goes on, these guys will get more sacks. Not every quarterback is mobile like Arch Manning is, and I think that took away from a lot of guys' sacks. And good on Arch Manning, man. He's good at doing that. So, but no, I do think we'll be able to do that throughout the season, though. I really do. Don Bezos says, "I'm not betting against a bunch of country YNs. You better not." I'll tell you what, the energy on this team. Like there was on one of the tackles Arvell Reese got, man. It was the running back. Arvell just stood over him and looked down at him, and Sonny had to like back him, like pushed him, backed him off. And I'm like, yeah, man, we got some different dudes on this team. Last year's team, they're champions, but they were kind of like the nice guys. I don't think this defense is going to be about those type of people. I think it's going to be a nasty, nasty defense they're talking to you all game. They're calling you a bunch of things that you probably don't like, and their head coach and a defense coordinator encouraging it. And we have a rapper for our DC coach or assistant DC coach. So I don't know, man. I love it. I love the way these guys are playing. I love their attitude. I love like the fire they play with on that field, like a house fire, man. Really, really liked it. Shout out to Steve. He goes from X. He goes, I legit biased can see Ohio State running the table. I agree. But just based off of how we won this game with 203 yards, I'm right with you. And Julian Sand, so cool, so calm, and confident. Those are the 3 ways I would describe him after that game. I was so excited, like happy for him and how he played. But yeah, man, what a game by the Ohio State Buckeyes, everybody. There's not much you could ask for. These guys played their asses off. They got into a tough game with one of the top 5 to top 10 teams in the country. Of course, as the season goes on, we'll see it shake out. But I really believe that Ohio State has something going right now. I think over the next 2 weeks, you get the offense together, you improve on the defense, because there's things to work on both sides. I think everybody can see that. But yeah, man, everybody, don't forget to hit that like button, share the channel, subscribe to the channel and to the network here at the Voice of College Football. Also, if you just happen to be tuning in now, you can go listen on any audio streaming device or app. Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We are on all those for you. So yeah, go check it out if you missed the show, everybody. Don't want you to, we talk about a lot of good things here, have a lot of good conversation on Thursdays. We do the call-in show. Love seeing everybody in the chat, being able to ask their questions, join the conversation, voice their opinions. That's why we have the Voice College Football, which you guys are also the same. Before we continue to the second half of the show, another quick message here from the Voice of College Football. There we go. Get your business, product, service, or personal brands to the next level by partnering with the Voice College Football, and let's discuss how you can also reach your target market. The Voice College Football is a growing network with a large following, so let's find out how we can help you grow with us. Check out the experience of one of our partners here posted on the screen, like Win Agency, and just like them, we are here to deliver for you. Contact us at sponsorships@vocfb.com. Again, that is sponsorships@vocfb.com today. All right, so let's move on here. A couple more things I want to bring up. The crowd, awesome, spectacular. You know, when I gave my 5 reasons why Ohio State would win this game, the fifth one was the crowd. I thought they were uh, rampaging out there, and the Ohio State Buckeye football team gave them a reason to do so. Um, yeah, that was really cool to see. Sark talked about it. You know, the players talked about it. It was loud in there. It really was, and you can hear it through the screen. Even though Fox has to do a better job of you know letting the sound go through the speakers. I mean, they just don't like this, like let the crowd noise blare in there for some odd reason. I don't understand why, because I think having the crowd noise and so people are allowed to hear it at home makes the experience of the listeners at home it's much more enjoyable, I'll say. But regardless of that, the crowd was awesome. Um, Also on Ryan Day, because we got to talk about him real quick before we get on to Grambling State. Um, you know what one of the is that I've just talked about this. Other people have talked about this on other channels and other networks. You know, would this national championship kind of calm Ryan Day a little bit, make him a little bit more confident, not see him be as wired up or tense as he tends to get in big games, especially. And I thought he did a good job of keeping his cool. I think that his quarterback and his team reflected him. Very confident in what they were doing, very fluid in their decisions and the way they were playing the game, which I think Brian Hartline and Matt Patricia were the same also. And it was cool to see. I think we have a different Ryan Day now. He looks more sure of himself. And that's all you ask for a guy like him. You know, he has all the coaching talent in the world, especially offensively. But it's really good to see him, you know, really hone into himself, or hone into his strengths as a coach and as a man. Yeah, again, I think that, and by the way, Ryan Day now is 2-0 versus Sark, 3-0 versus Freeman, and 1-1 versus uh, what's his nuts over in Clemson? I don't know, Dabo. But no, man, I think Ryan Day, you know, we're looking at him in his prime now. Um, I think that championship did wonders for him. I think it did wonders for this program. I think that, you know, again, you know, this program Ryan Day can take this program to anywhere he wants it. I think he's in the process of doing that and finding out ways to do that. Another thing about Ryan Day is what's really cool to see is that he doesn't give a damn on how he wins a football game anymore. I mean, he's lost games in different ways, but he has now shown that he can win a game any way you want to play it. Any way you want to play it. You want this to drag out to the fourth quarter again, Texas? I can win that game. You want to go band for band, throw the rock. You know I do that. You know I can do that. So no, it's I think Ryan Day is in his prime right now. I'm very very excited to see where he takes this year's team. And again, I think his coaching staff, his quarterback, and his team reflect him. So good on him. And yeah, coach, you're great. You're great. Shout out to Jam. She goes, Late, but here. Hi, Garrett said, hi, Jeb. Good to see you in here. OHIO, as always. Um, yeah, man. And by the way, and sorry, everybody, my allergies are kicking my butt right now, so I sound a little whiny right now. I might end the show in a little bit after I get done talking about what we need to see this upcoming week. But just trying to fight through right now. But uh, a lot of Texas fans, had a lot to say, and shout out to like Gerald, Matthew Miller, and B. Ross, Brandon. They were more calm, cool, and collected about leading up to this game. But I really think that some of these Texas fans are just soft, plain old soft, and and I get it. You continue to think that your program is still up there with the Ohio States of the world, with the Bamas of the world, the Georgias of the world, and the truth of the matter is you still aren't. You got a lot of talent on your team, but you're not those programs. Um, there's like you're a top tier program, but there's a clear gap between us. I think you guys are in that space of like where Penn State is. And you're trying to learn how to win like the way we do. And so, shout out to Texas, but there's some of their fan base, man, sweet as cotton candy, sweet as cotton candy. See, Cam says if we're going to be the forever noon moving forward again, might as well make it loud as possible. I agree, man. I agree. A shout out, Rob Farber. Thank you for being here too today. Says Fox is awful. I agree. The production is terrible, and I feel like they know that and they just don't care, which is it's just mind blowing to be honest with you. So again, everybody, before we finish up the show here, again, hit that like button. Make sure you share the channel, subscribe to the network and the channel here at House of the Voice Culture. Will also hit that notification bell so you can make sure you keep track of all the shows that we have going on through the week, 4 days a week, football all throughout the week, talking just Ohio State football. So the Ohio State Buckeyes they welcome Grambling State to the shoe. Now, of course, we all know that this is not some game to look forward to. This is a preseason game, essentially a game to work out, work the kinks out of some of the bad nature things that your team may do, and learn how to fix those things. It's so that as the season progresses and as you get the Big Ten play, those same problems are not rearing their ugly heads. So I think that this week, let's start with the defense because they played the best on Saturday. Defensive ends, defensive tackles, you got to finish on the sacks. There's plenty of times when they got there. Maybe they just didn't read the right way when Arch is scrambling out of the pocket. But regardless of the fact, there were plenty of times they should have had the ball Arch sacked and ready and down. Definitely should have had more sacks than they ended the game with. So I think that's one thing though they had to work on. I would like to see more depth at the linebacker spot. I would see some of the guys more in this game, and I think we're going to be able to. I think a lot of guys are going to play in this game against Grambling State. But yeah, I don't have much to say about the defense. Just keep doing what you're doing to capitalize off of what you did against Texas. For the offense, definitely want to see the run game progress. And more specifically, I want the running backs to read those better than what they did this past Saturday. Specifically, James Peoples. I think James Peoples is much better than what he showed on Saturday. Again, no inside information, but I think just based off what we see and what we know out of Coach Locke, I think we're going to see a little bit more Bo Jackson in this game. Not more attempts than James Peoples, but I think over the next 2 games, you're going to see him get some run. And I think it's because you got at the end of the day, this is Ohio State, and I would say the same thing for Bi. I think Bi has all the talent in the world. A lot of people get mad at people from liking Milo and Graham, which I don't get because there's a lot to like about him. But I think that at places like Ohio State, it doesn't matter. The best players got to play. And I think if you have freshmen who might just be that doggone good, you play them. We did with Devin Sanchez. We put Devin Sanchez in a high pressure moment. We put him in a high pressure moment. So again, I think there's a games where you guys just make sure you know what you know, or at least affirm what you think you know. Because as Big Ten play progresses, you got to go to Illinois, you got to go play Washington, you got to play Penn State, you got to play the team up north. The right guys must be playing. So yeah, the run game has to get better. Wide receivers, I'm not worried about you guys, but just catch the ball. I expect more out of you, man. That pass was putting the bread, and Bi knows this about. This is nothing nobody would have to tell him. I'm sure they got on him about in practice already. But those are the type of plays you got to make when you have a first-time quarterback going out there throwing you a dot. You got to come down with that pass. You just have to. There was no excuse to drop that ball. JJ, I know you'll play better, but there's no excuse to dropping those balls. Max Clare, no excuse to dropping that ball. Balls. So, so yeah, those are the two things I want to see from them. I thought the tight ends did a good job blocking, but again, I just need to see better vision out of the running backs. Outside of that, though, man, I want to call it a flawless performance, but I thought that the offense did what the offense wanted to do. They didn't I would say execute to the best of their ability, but they were, like I said, they were very fluid, and so they were able to go out there when it was time to get the touchdown or it was time to get the first down, they did it. So yeah, good job for them. Again, proud of this team, what they did against against Texas, but against Grambling, a lot of things had to get changed. What you don't want to do is go into this game against Grambling State and take it lightly. It's still football, and football's got to be played. You got to go out there and give it your all, and that's what the sport deserves. That's what Ohio State deserves. That's what the fans deserve. And so, and those that came before you that played Ohio State deserve. So go out, the team needs to go out there, take care of business, take the next next leap out of what they did last week. If you can get better, then you go ahead and do that because there's always a chance to get better from week to week. So yeah, man. And for me, there's no betting line out for this game yet. I don't think the AP poll has dropped yet. So I mean, look, I expect Ohio State to be ranked number 1 in the nation. And they deserve to be number 1 in the nation. The team that was hyped up all season. And since last year, to be honest with you, everybody kept saying that Arch Manning was this, Arch Manning was that, and I was really happy. Shout out to my guy Sam from College Football with Sam. I remember a few weeks ago he talked about this, and he said, with all the praise that Texas gave, the way everybody's talking, it was pushing him to pick Ohio State, which he actually ended up doing before the game was played, and previously having Texas win the game. And I felt that way too. I was really happy about how quiet everything was around Ohio State and how we saw videos of our team, but they kept it close to the chest about anything that was going to be said about this team, and they handled everything the right way. They handled the quarterback battle the right way. That whole moniker that Ryan Day, like this Ryan Day picked the right quarterback. Well, he just did again. He always has. And so, yeah, for this game week against Grambling, I mean, I think Ohio. I don't really know what to say for a score for that game. Well, what I'll say is that I believe that we'll go out there, take care of business, get out there. I would like our stars to be out there by half. I would actually like to see some Lincoln Keenholz in this game. I want to see what he looks like. A little against Grambling, but I want to see what he looks like. I would hope to see some more Devin Sanchez in this game. Who else would I like to see? I would like to see some of the older offensive line players in the 2 deep. I would like to see Ethan Onyanwa. I would like to see guys like Vince Sickle, like Gabe Sickle. Those are guys I would like to see. And then I think in a week like this is the week where you force feed Jeremiah. This is the time to do it. You force feed him, and you try to get him get the ball in his hands. It looked like he switched gloves and he didn't drop the other ball. So there was pockets, he got open in that, but yeah, I think that Ohio State's definitely be number one in the country. I think that like I said, there's a lot of things that the team can improve on. I think they will. But yeah, that's all I've got for everybody. Again, please be able to make sure you join the other shows that we have throughout this week. Make sure to call into on Thursday to the Ohio State Calling Show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give your thoughts. Again, that's your show also, just like this is your channel. Nothing here works without you. You guys make the show go here at the Ohio State, the Voice of College Football. Again, thank you for joining me tonight. Again, happy Labor Day, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time. Glad that you guys joined me here on a holiday. Glad I could bring this to you on a holiday. And as always, OH, IO.